Are we on the brink of a global catastrophe? Could the current political climate ignite the fuse of World War III? In today's world, the geopolitical climate is a complex web of alliances, conflicts, and rivalries. Major world powers are locked in a tense standoff, their relations strained by a host of issues. The winds of trade wars are blowing as nations grapple for economic dominance, leading to a series of retaliatory tariffs and sanctions. Territorial disputes are another spark in the powder keg, with nations staking claims and asserting their sovereignty over contested lands and waters. The specter of cyber warfare looms large as state-sponsored hackers infiltrate foreign networks, disrupt critical infrastructure, and sow discord. An arms race, the likes of which we haven't seen since the Cold War, is also underway, with nations scrambling to develop cutting-edge weaponry and strengthen their military prowess. These issues are not isolated, they are interconnected in a global domino effect, each one capable of toppling the next. These escalating tensions appear to be a dangerous dance on the precipice of conflict, but what events have led us here? To understand the potential for a world war, we must examine the recent events that have added a fuel to the fire. Let's take a closer look at some of the key players and their actions. In the past few years, we've seen the US and China, two of the world's biggest economies, locked in a bitter trade war. Each side has been imposing tariffs on the other, creating tension and uncertainty in the global economy. This economic tug-of-war has created a rift between the two nations, with potential implications for global security. Over in the digital realm, Russia has been accused of cyber attacks on various nations, affecting everything from elections to infrastructure. These virtual invasions have not only caused disruptions but also raised questions about the future of warfare. Could the next world war be fought not on land, sea, or air, but in the digital cyberspace? Then there's North Korea, a nation that has been flexing its nuclear muscles with a series of tests. The world watches with bated breath as each missile is launched, wondering if this could be the spark that ignites a global conflict. The specter of nuclear warfare looms large, reminding us of the devastating potential of modern warfare. In the Middle East, conflicts continue to simmer, with tensions between Iran and Saudi Arabia, the Israel-Palestine dispute, and the ongoing war in Syria. These localized conflicts have the potential to escalate into a broader confrontation, drawing in other nations and turning regional disputes into a global issue. Each of these events, whether it's a tariff here or a missile test there, has contributed to a rising tide of global tension. They have created a climate of uncertainty and fear, where the possibility of conflict seems to hang in the air. But it's not just about these individual events. It's about how they interact, how they feed off each other, creating a complex web of tension that spans the globe. Each of these events has added a brick to a wall of tension that threatens to topple over into conflict. But how does this compare to the build-up to previous world wars? History often repeats itself. Are we seeing a repeat of the events that led to the first two world wars? Let's draw some parallels. Just as the alliances of old Europe set the stage for the Great War, today's international alliances seem to be forming a similar framework. Instead of the Triple Entente and the Central Powers, we have new blocks of countries with their own vested interests. And what about the arms race? The lead up to World War II saw nations amassing weapons at an unprecedented rate. Today we're witnessing a similar escalation in military technology and defense budgets. Lastly, territorial disputes. From the Sudetenland to the South China Sea, territorial squabbles have been a recurring theme in the lead up to global conflict. While history doesn't repeat itself perfectly, it often rhymes. The parallels to the past are striking, and they are indeed worrying. The echoes of the past are chilling. But what can we do to avoid a world war? The path to peace is narrow and fraught with obstacles, but it's a path we must tread with caution and determination. As we stand at the crossroads of history, potential solutions beckon us, whispering promises of a peaceful world. Diplomatic negotiations, disarmament, and international cooperation are not just terms thrown around in policy discussions. They are crucial tools to defuse the simmering tensions. It's akin to a game of chess, where every move must be calculated, every decision must be weighed, and the consequences of our actions must be thoroughly considered. The importance of learning from our past cannot be overstated. The specters of the past wars haunt us, reminding us of the devastation that comes with conflict. The stakes are high and the future is uncertain. But if we learn from history, we can navigate this treacherous path and steer our world away from the brink of war.